Hey guys, it's Ndoplex and welcome back to Water Tanks. And yes, I know it has only been a couple of weeks and we are back with another replay in the 60 TP. Now, this tank, I just cannot get enough of it. It has been such an overall beast for me in the game so far, and with such a great tank comes so many great replays, and this one being no exception. So I thought I would share it here with you guys today to showcase another absolutely powerhouse game for me in the 60 TP. This is of course the tier 10 Polish heavy tank with the monstrous 750 alpha damage, the same alpha damage as that gun on the E100, but with so much better gun depression and turret armor, giving so much added flexibility for the 60 TP. This tank is by far, in my opinion, the better of the two choices. Now, I have since picked up my first Mark of Excellence in this tank, and I am now running the Bread with Smarlek for the 10% boost to crew skills now. Having used this tank a little bit more, I think it is well worth the bonus here to the crew skills. And a little bit of a lucky shot there on the way in. We managed to hit that VZ55 for a very nice high roll of 877 at the start of this game. And if you guys haven't seen this position before, the enemies always go into that position on that side, and quite often our teammates will go into this position where the Super Conqueror and the Object 277 is. You can actually manage to sneak your way up this side of the trees behind this rock and get some very nice shots on the enemies that are able to peek up on that side, like just in between that gap where you can see we hit that VZ55 again for another high roll for 821 damage. And just like that, 2 shots into this game and we're already up to 1700 damage. It really is an absolutely absurd tank sometimes when you think about it. Looking for a shot on the Object 268, but unfortunately, even in its nerf state, that tank is still an absolute beast on the battlefield. So, we've taken out the heavies in that top position, and now we are going to have to try and contend with the more traditional spots, trying to outclass here. Probably the best hold-down tank in the game for a ridgeline, which is the Super Conqueror. Ooh, nice shot there, just managing to find the weak spot on the Object 268, and you see me spin the camera around to see whether that penned me, and yes, unfortunately this does have some rather nasty cupolas on it, so the enemies can take advantage of them sometimes here. But up to 2,500 damage after being able to find the weak spot there on the 268. And now that the enemies have retreated from this location, I feel a lot safer in being able to peek up in this area and hopefully try and get some shots down onto those tanks sitting in the middle of this valley bit, the Super Conqueror and the 268, although I did spot a sneaky T110E4 at the back of the map, which I was a little bit worried about. There we are, we managed to spot him there. Unfortunately, I was a bit slow on my reactions there, trying to figure out just where the rock was and wasn't able to put a shot on him. But he pulls forward, getting a little bit greedy, and we managed to put a very nice, again, a high roll for 837 into the back of his tank. Every shot this game, actually, even against a 268, has been a high roll here. Very nice indeed. Sometimes RNG is on your favorite, and it seems this T110E4 hasn't learnt his lesson here. I did have a heat round loaded, but I'm going to swap for an AP, and we managed to snipe his cupola again for a high roll. 830 damage. Man, this tank really does rack up the damage quickly. I can't really peek much further with that T110E4 sitting there and the 268 firmly aimed at my location. Hopefully, I'm going to try and bait a shot on my turret from this 268. We're getting spotted there. The T110E4, us having hit him a few times, is trying to hit us. But even with APCR rounds, if he's not able to hit the weak spot on our tank, there's very little chance of him going through the front of our turret. So we managed to bounce a shell from him as well, which is very nice indeed. So, unfortunately, it seems our team has totally lost the town. We are all backed up into this area, and so I'm starting to think we need to make a push through this side, else we're going to get pincered at both sides. And as soon as you get pincered at both sides, this game becomes very difficult indeed. I see the Super Conqueror fire. I think it's worth risking a shot taking there from the 268. Thankfully, he managed to miss our track wheel. That was a bit of a greedy shot to take, but we managed to get away with it, just bouncing there off our upper hull. And now putting the Super Conqueror and the 268 down to a one-shot. Luckily, our Super Conqueror manages to take out the 268, and we spot a sneaky K91 sniping from the back of the map there. But luckily, with that kill there, we've managed to equalize the numbers here. And up to 5k damage in the first 3 minutes of this game. What an absolute riot this has been. We've got more tanks that have come from the town trying to support us on this side of the map. And this Super Conqueror is just on such a frustrating amount of HP. The Batchat looks like he's going to sit there. Unfortunately, I try and fully aim my shot and he manages to move just as I pull the trigger. But with that Super Conqueror, unfortunately, him being on such low health is going to get us baited. Our 268 goes. I want to try and help him, but I see a shot on this K91. We managed to put a nice shot into him, and luckily the 277, I think, manages to ram the Super Conqueror to death. Unfortunately, that Chieftain in the back has been playing a very key role on their team, putting a lot of pressure on our teammates on the way over this hill. And so it's high time we up and move from our spot to try and dig him out. I'm trying to feather a shot on him. I'm still worried about the K91. There's a Struv in the back, and still that T124 is still alive and hasn't been spotted since, so he could very well still be camping at the back of the map, ready to hit us with some big damage. Thankfully, our T123 manages to blind shoot the, what was it? The K91 at the back of the map. Our T124 manages to blind fire the K91 at the back of the map, taking him out of the game, and we spot this sneaky little leopard at the back here. And I'm just pre-aiming. I saw that leopard peek one time. He didn't lose any health. And so normally I find if an enemy peeks and they don't lose any health, they tend to get greedy and try and peek again. So I am firmly waiting for this leopard, expecting him to come out again. And suddenly we are very much up on health and on tanks in this game. I'm waiting for the leopard. I don't quite want to push yet. They've still got some very dangerous tanks sat at the back there with that Struv, the Chieftain, the Batchat, everyone sitting at the back of the map. And now our team has managed to take down the middle. I see the Leopard now has moved on the map, and I think it's high time we try and uproot that T95 from his position. The T124 has also moved and has just died. I preload some heat rounds because this Chieftain, probably one of the strongest tanks in the game, that Clan Wars reward tank, has been recently nerfed, but is still an absolute powerhouse. And I do not want to take any chances in this game thus far. So I'm going to come around this corner and try and dig this guy out. The Sheridan and the Struv are still sitting at the back. We manages to bounce a shell off him. But no matter how good your tank is... Oh. Now, wait a minute. Let's just take a look at where that shot actually went. Now, I was fairly certain I was going to get a nice easy pen there on the lower plate of this Chieftain. But, as you saw just then, our shot didn't seem to do anything. So, we manages to bounce a shot with a little wiggle off the T95. And I'm going to slow this down to a quarter speed. We come around the corner. We stop. We aim. Our shot somehow goes underneath his tank. Now, this is a thing, if you have played World of Tanks a lot, you will understand is an absolute ghost shell. I will replay it one more time for you guys because I was just as confused in the moment when this happened. Yeah, our tank just went straight through his tank and straight into the ground. I have no idea how it happened. Unfortunately, that's the thing with World of Tanks. You sometimes do get these random ghost shells. But again, I will slow it down here for you guys just to have a look because you can be as confused as I am. The reticle is fully on its lower plate and it hits the ground behind. You can see it hits the ground because of that big explosion. Yeah, who knows where that shell went. But anyway, hopefully that's not going to have too big an impact on our game here. We're preloading another heat round ready for this Chieftain as he shuts down our 277 friend. And he's trying to wiggle as much as he can to make me miss. I decided it's worth taking the shot to try and finish him off. Unfortunately, we then leave him on, what is that, 4 HP. And with the Sheridan on our left now, bearing down on us with heat rounds, 8 HP, sorry, on the Chieftain. I'm a little bit worried in this situation. I'm trying to bait that Sheridan into bouncing. Luckily, he bounces a heat round off our upper plate there. And we're up to 3,000 damage blocked in this game. I load a HE round now with an intuition switch because I can either see the Sheridan and hit him and hopefully manages to pen him, which will guarantee me the one shot, or since his Chieftain is on 8 HP, regardless if that shell hits anywhere on his tank, it should be able to kill him there. So they have managed to do a really good job on their team here at taking down a lot of our teammates. So this game seemed so firmly in our favor earlier on, and now it is neck and neck. We are 11 tanks apiece, and we are up by just about 1,000 hit points, but they still have some very dangerous medium tanks in the game, and we have some very slow and lumbering TDs. Thankfully, I had that HE shell loaded for the Sheridan. We manages to put a nice shot into the back of his tank, shutting him down. And now we could have rolled that high with the AP round. With the HE rounds that have... Let me see here. Oh, what is happening with my mouse? 950 alpha damage with 90 penetration. Absolutely fantastic, these rounds of this tank. That was guaranteed to one-shot that Sheridan. And if he had managed to sneak away and get into the cap circle, we could well be looking pretty dicey on this game, but not to be. Now, I say cap the base, the Leopard says cap, and I really do think that is the best option here. Now, either the Batchat and the Leopard have made their way round to our base and are planning on capping, or they are still over in that sort of K9, KO area, in which case we're going to force them to come to us. And you see where I'm sitting in the cap circle right now. There's no bushes in this cap circle, but I've placed myself behind this building here because I'm expecting the Leopard and the Batchat to come trundling down this area if they're going to try and spot us. So by putting that building in position, and there's a Leopard like we thought. Now, I could have stayed in the cap circle and capped out the game there, which probably would have been the better thing to do. I'm being a little bit greedy here, being on 7,300 damage and feeling pretty confident in this game. I want to try and get a little bit more damage in this game, but unfortunately the Batchat manages to put a shot on our T110E3 and take him out, and this game has gone from very easy to pretty sketchy. Luckily, we managed to kill that Batchat there. And with 7 seconds left on the game, do I cap? Do I not cap? I see the Leopard there, and I think, oh, okay. The WZ manages to get him. I was tempted to go out and try and hunt that Leopard, but I thought it might be a little bit too greedy. But we managed to cap out that game, and the WZ got the kill in the end. What an absolutely fantastic game here in the Polish Tier 10 heavy tank, the 60 TP, once again showcasing why this right now is my favorite heavy tank in the game. So there we go. This was unsurprisingly an ace tanker here for the 60 TP with a Confederate medal as we managed to hit 8 of the enemies with our teammates subsequently killing them. Sorry, 6 of the enemies which our teammates subsequently killed them, and we killed 2 enemies for ourselves. We picked up a steel wall medal and a high caliber here for 1,298 base experience, 8,000 damage done, and 2 kills. What an absolute beast of a tank this is, able to do nearly double the damage of anyone else on our team. Condolences to their Batchat, who had a very nice game as well, but unfortunately, with our massive alpha damage, we were able to shut him down there and made a very nice profit here of £77,000, losing a little bit of ammo due to our ghost shell missing that chieftain and firing a couple of heat rounds later on in the game. But yeah, the 60 TP is an absolute beast on the battlefield, and I cannot recommend it enough. I've had so many great games in this tank, and I thought, even though it's only a couple weeks afterwards, why not showcase another fantastic game in this tank? So guys, I really do hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please be sure to like and subscribe, and drop me a comment down below of what is your favorite heavy tank in the game to play right now. Not necessarily at tier 10, let's just go for in general. I'd really be interested to know, guys. And with that being said, take care, guys. Goodbye.